Welcome to Ida's Kitchen. Bienvenidos. My name is Ida Lugo McAllister, and I am going to demonstrate how to prepare Pastelillos de Guayaba, Guava Pastry. The pastelillos are prepared with a buttery puff pastry that is filled with guava paste. Once baked, powdered sugar is then sprinkled on top of each pastry. Several years ago, I decided to make homemade puff pastry. Jamás me arrepentí. A very laborious task because you repeatedly roll, fold, and chill the dough with butter for hours. These steps, however, cause the dough to puff up in layers for a light and flaky texture when baked. Today, I prefer to purchase the Pepperidge Farm Puff Pastry. This comes with 2 sheets, or the Just Roll Puff Pastry. This comes with 1 sheet. The difference? This brand, the dough is frozen and much thicker, while this brand, the dough is refrigerated and pre-rolled for a thinner dough. Let's get started making the pastelillos. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. For this recipe, I will be using the Just Roll Puff Pastry that comes with 1 pre-rolled dough. Since this dough is stored in the refrigerator, I like to place it in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes while cutting the guava paste. The secret to a puff pastry is to keep it firm and chilled. For the filling, I will be using the canned Goya guava paste, but you purchase the brand of your preference. Once the guava paste is removed from the can, cut it in quarters with a sharp knife. I like to start with 1/4 of the guava paste, cut into slices about 1/4 inch thick. I normally use 2 to 3 slices of guava paste for each guava pastry. Based on the amount of pastry you plan to make, cut the quantity of guava slices. Let's prepare the egg wash. In a small bowl, add 1 whole egg with 1 tablespoon of water and beat until well blended. I removed the pastry dough from the package and placed on countertop with the attached baking paper. Roll out the dough completely until flat. The dough measures 15 by 10 inches. Cut into 8 squares with a pizza cutter or a knife. You can use a ruler to measure the squares. Since the dough is already pre-rolled, you eliminate the rolling process. We just finished cutting all 8 squares. Once you cut the squares, arrange 4 squares on top of baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Place the other 4 squares in the refrigerator to prevent the dough from becoming too soft. We can now place the slices of guava paste on top of each square, leaving some space around the border. It is time to cover the guava paste with the squares that we placed in the refrigerator. Gently press down with your fingers around the edges to seal both layers. If you press on the sides like this, the pastry will not puff up properly. I like to trim the edges of each square with a pizza cutter for an even shape and to completely seal the pastelillos. It will also prevent the filling from leaking out. We just finished forming 4 pastelillos de guayaba. Let's brush some egg wash on the entire surface to give it a shiny golden color when baked. The last step is to score the top of each pastelillos with a knife to release the steam and to rise evenly upward. Now this is optional. Place in oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 15 minutes or until golden brown. After After 15 minutes of baking, the pastelillos de guayaba are done. They have a beautiful golden brown, shiny crust. Let's stand to cool for a few minutes. Look at the layers of this buttery and flaky guava puff pastry. Before serving, dust each pastelillo with powdered sugar until it is covered to your liking. Traditionally, we cover the pastry with plenty of powdered sugar that you cannot even see the crust. I prefer my pastelillos lightly sprinkled with powdered sugar. I cut the pastelillo in half so that you can see the inside of the pastry along with the guava paste. These delicious pastelillos de guayaba, guava pastries, are usually served in the morning for breakfast or in the afternoon as a snack with a hot cup of Puerto Rican coffee with milk. I understand that we normally use the Pepperidge Farm brand to make our pastelillos de guayaba. With the Just Roll brand, you save preparation time because you eliminate the rolling process and the egg wash application to seal the dough. It's time to taste the pastelillo. I already took 3 bites. Now I'm going to take another one. The flaky dough with powdered sugar just melts in your mouth. The guava paste gives the pastelillo a burst of tropical flavor. ¡Qué rico! When I lived in Puerto Rico, we had a guava tree. And yes, we made homemade guava paste. I hope you have enjoyed watching my YouTube video on how to prepare pastelillos de guayaba, guava pastries.